Hey y'all, it's Leah Lauder, your favorite mega church cult survivor, and I spent 18 years in a mega church cult, and now I come online and I expose them. I came to the realization that I was in a church cult during the pandemic, and now I'm online and I speak on behalf of myself and other survivors. So if you're watching later on YouTube or Instagram, welcome. As you know, these are pre-recorded lives that I do on TikTok, so you may hear me engaging with survivors if any come on at all. Or I'll just be here talking to y'all and then you watch it later. So anyway, today I'm covering a really interesting topic, and it's why do church cults get members to marry so young? Mimi in the cut, welcome, my love. And can I ask that you like the live? If you're on here, it protects the space. I've had to restart the live so many times because I didn't cover some of the faces. So my ex-husband, Chair, he's gonna be angry, Chair, if his face isn't covered. He's so private. He's like the opposite of me. I attract like really like those kind of clean aesthetic men that are private and quiet, and you know what I mean. Spirit of truth, how are you? I don't know why. I think they just want a little bit of fun, excitement in their life. All right. So I've been talking about a lot, guys. If you haven't if you weren't here for the live that I just did, right? I've been speaking about how church cult leaders and mogs, how they siphon your energy, they manipulate time, they distort your sense of self and reality. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. It'll be the video before this share. Hi, my love. So today I'm talking about why do church cult members get them to marry? So why do church cult leaders get the members to marry so young? All right. I want to start off by saying these are mainly pictures of myself. I did get married at 25, Chair. I was a baby. And I've also put some pictures here so when the cult see it, they know what's up. They know what's up, Chair. They know what's up. They can see what I'm doing, Chair. All right. So let's look at why cults push early for these quick marriages, okay? Why do people in church cults get married young? Hey, Adore. How are you, Adore? You all right, my love? Why do they get them married so young? Why did you get married so young? You might be a survivor like me, a millennial, getting divorced in your mid to late 30s. Where are all the divorcees at? Come on, that got swindled by the mega church to think that marriage was a good thing. You must get married to avoid fornication. How many of us are divorced? Let me know in the comments, especially if you're watching on the Instagram or the YouTube later. Let me know. There's loads of us. There's loads of us who got swindled by this whole mega church ideology. Do you know what I mean? Absolute human fecal matter. Tina, some of your message came through, but not all, babe. You may have to resend it. All right. So why does this happen? Why do cults do it up? The first reason is control of women's bodies and choices. All right. So cults often view women as property or vessels, not full autonomous beings. So in the church cult, yeah, if you're a woman, you're a second class citizen, and they've got like gender inequality. So the man is like the head of the home, and although this is like, like a Christian ideology, like in the cults, you have to remember that it's exasperated. Do you know what I mean? So the man could be DUMB, putting hands on you, doing the most, but the pastor will still be encouraging you to stay in the DV relationship. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because it's so RADICAL. It's very like black and white thinking, very dogmatic. A lot of the pastors are not very educated. They just have extreme ideologies. So there's no like common sense or logic or anything like that. But because the human collective consciousness has been raised, and we're in the age of technology, so it's just like instant information. So it's not just easy to just like swindle someone and gaslight them anymore and love bomb them on the roadside. Do you know what I mean? Like kids as young as 11 know what narcissism is and love bombing. Do you know what I mean? Layla in the car, please like up the guys. Like if you come on here and you're feeling what I'm saying, can you like the live? Because I'll have to go. Like I will have to go because they do report this live, so it helps to protect the space. Let me see if some more people, my people, them start coming on, and then. But if you are on here, you could just like it if you're listening. I just feel like removing people that aren't liking up the like. That's what I feel like I'm on tonight, Layla. That's what I feel like I'm on tonight, yeah. If you're not willing to like the live, just keep it scrolling, all right? Hey, Healing GC, because I'm here for a collective, Thanks, my love. Just keep it scrolling if you're not prepared to like the live. Um, okay, I've just got scrolled all the way down. All right. Marriage transfers control from the cult leader to a husband who is loyal to the leader. Thanks for liking up the live. Welcome, Elaine. Please like up the live, guys. Let's at least get over like 1K to protect the space. So again, they've got that hierarchy in these church cults where it's like the man's the head. It's supposed to be God, the man, getting directed and hearing from God, and he should love God and Christ so much that he loves his wife so much that he'd give his life for her. And then she should be submissive to that man because there's that like that equilibrium, there's that equal exchange of love. But in there, they're like, you have to love the man no matter what. That's why women stay with men that are putting hands on them to the point where they unalive, like stuff like that. Do you understand? There's a lot of indoctrination and extremist ideologies mixed with toxic traditional cultural sayings and things that just make it so toxic for people. And so if you do come from a background, a hyper religious background, know that you will be susceptible to these settings. Share. You don't want to be like them wacky backy aunties church cult hopping for the rest of their life. Ladies, let's get it together, man. Let's break cyclical patterns of trauma. There's nothing, there's no curses, share. It's all like we learned in the last session, innit? When we when we were looking at all of the metaphysics and everything that they do behind it. It's all an illusion. So we need to like get out of that distorted reality. We need to get out of that and we need to get into a logical grounded space, okay, where we're in the present moment. So do you see that because it's not like a free-fold called relationship with God, husband and wife, they replace God with the pastor, the mog, the leader, whatever. And so do you see that it just becomes an echo chamber? Like even in the marriages, the woman has no voice. Do you get it? It's just whatever the misogynist is saying, that's what the husband is internalizing, and that's how the household's getting run. Thanks for the follow, David. It cuts off a woman's independence, funneling her into permanent subservience and obedience under both her spouse and the group. So the pressure that the wives get in there, yeah, is absolutely phenomenal. That's why a lot of them get ill, a lot of them unalive early. They get like like chronic health issues. That's why a lot of the aunties, like 50 is not old. Like we've seen what 50 look like, but all of the women that didn't have the knowledge that we have now, they're all washed up. Do you know what I mean? It's like they made us believe 50 was old, 30 was old, 40 was old, because the women were centering the men because of the epigenetics, because of for lack of knowledge, our women perish. You get me? So now that this knowledge is being perpetuated into the hemisphere, women are leveling up. They're realizing, oh, actually, I don't need some D. I think they need my coochie more than I need the D. And they're starting to decenter men. And I'm not a man, Hater. Do you know what I mean? I love some D. I love a man. Do you know what I mean? But it's got to be the right man. Do you get it? Because if it's the right man, oh, I love me a better man. Do you get it? So I just want people to know, like, I'm not like RADICAL in my thoughts or a man, HATER. I'm not at all. I've got brothers. I love men. All right. So it cuts off the woman's independence, her autonomy, and it's all about this subservience and this obedience. And they have this Proverb 31 archetype in there. So it's like all the women are looking up to the first lady, or the ideal of how the cult see like this upstanding Proverbs 31 woman, and that will look slightly different in all the cults, but it will the same requirements and tactics are used. So all the women will have internalized misogyny real bad, to the point where it's giving delusion. Yeah. So the reason why they get young DUMB vulnerable women who don't know nothing about nothing to tie themselves to poverty for the rest of them life, for the rest of their lives and dusties, is because they're locking people into the self-sealing system. All right. Marriage creates binding ties. And, I'm going to look into the metaphysics of this as well, because word on the street is some mystics have said that it's binding magic. And I do believe that. Hey, cutie, I do believe that. As soon as that ring goes on, just changes everything. It's like there's another law in place, because it's all like, guys, it's all magic. This world is like a magical world. And we have like superpowers and, not like the magic that they've taught us to believe. It's like the spoken word, believing, manifestation, all of that. Hey, my love. They do it in the church cults, but they use it for darkness, not for good, and they don't equip people to have the power to manifest their dreams into reality. It's only the cult leaders, the people at the top, the greedy man them. Do you understand what I'm saying? That are siphoning all of your energy, getting you to put all of your energy into building their empire. Because remember, energy is the universal currency of the universe, not money. You can't even take pounds to America, let alone pounds to friggin' Venus. Remember, we're a bloody planet floating in the sky, in the galaxy, all right? They fooled us into thinking that we're average. We're not average. Never have we been a day in our life, all right? So you've got to open your eyes, guys, because we're going into a new age and a new era. The aliens could arrive any day now. And they could be doing a press conference with aliens any day now. They could invent, there's probably cars that already do fly it. They got that in Asia and China. So guys, we're in a different time, all right? Let's wake up, let's get with it. The ones in the self-sealing system, we can't worry about them. We have to just left it. You get me? But if you are here and you are woke, wake up, chair. All right? You don't want to be left in the old system, the old world. That's HELL. That's where that's where they are getting left. Do you understand? Even ChatGPT, I've got all of this from ChatGPT, you know. The way they don't engage with technology, they get robbed. Like when you're in there, you get robbed of, like the fruits, the things that the world has to offer. Do you get what I'm saying? Like even ChatGPT, engaging with it in a certain way, people getting to set up side hustles, Queen Nassie in the cart. Do you get what I'm saying? People who, have I got my mods on? Do you get what I'm saying? Because you put all of that energy that you could put into setting up your side hustle, having your side business, like doing it, because the currency is energy that you put your time and energy into it, and it manifests, it alchemizes, it converts into money, success, whatever. All right. So marriage creates binding ties, family, children, financial dependency. Once you're married with kids, leaving the cult is exponentially harder. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, especially just within a religious dynamic, do you get what I'm saying? They want a lot of women to marry because they believe that we're the weaker vessel. Like these misogynists that have created religion, they see it like the woman is the weaker vessel. They think we're DUMB. They put absolutely no respect on our name. What's a self-sealing system? Like when you're enclosed yourself to a group. All right, so the self-sealing system is the reality that the cult leader creates. So essentially it's all of these mega churches that have characteristics and setups. So they are high control groups, cults. So they create a thought reform program, Lifton, like what they've done in Asia, is it North Korea, all of that. So a totalitarian system, which they use the transcendental belief system, which is the Christian ideology, but they twist and mix and manipulate the scriptures. So yeah, you're supposed to go into the world and preach the gospel, but then they've got people out there from Monday to Sunday, come rain, sun or shine, with their baby in the buggy. You know what I mean? It's very radical in nature. They set up systems, very controlling systems, where it becomes your routine in life. So you can't get out of the system. Psychologically, you're controlled. And this is why I'm talking about marriage, because this is a part of the setup where they get people trapped in the self-sealing system, because the gal them are young, DUMB and naive. People are getting married as young as 19. I got married at 25. I was a baby. People are getting married as young as 19. It's not uncommon to get married in 19. So when people come out and they're like, oh, I got married at 19, feel sorry for me, I got, recruited at 14. That's a standard, my love. Don't be trying to go on like that's very standard. It's like when you come from South London. Everybody knows people that have unalived. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's normal. It's everyday life. All right. So once you're married with kids, leaving the cult, it gets harder. Do you know what I mean? Because I had my ex-husband in there, my 2 kids, my sister. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, Nasi, religion, it really does. And we don't need to get married. It makes everything harder. Paying the bills. When you're married, you can't get access to certain things. You know what I mean? Like they're clocking every penny that's coming in. It binds you to poverty, chair. Me, I'm not getting married ever again. I'll do love ceremonies, all of that. I'm not getting married again. Because by the time I'm going to be meeting someone, I'm going to be established and have my own money, and I won't need that. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm not on it, bruv. I'm focusing on self-development, like developing myself. Like now we're living in a world where it's equal playing field. It's not like the man is more whatever. We're coming out of that. We're a matriarchy now. I don't need to beg nothing from no man. You understand? My marriage is hard because we rushed it due to the doctrine. It wasn't natural. Yeah. That's the thing that the doctrine. Nasi, I've seen gal them get married in the back office. it was a cupboard, and the pastor converted it into an office. It was like a hallway that you walk in. I've seen gyal them get married in the back office at 25 years old because they were doing their medical degree. Do you understand what I'm saying? They just came wearing traditional clothes, went in after service, came out, introduced the latest couple in town. I've seen people do their wedding in the OK Club in South Kilburn, in the bricks. You know, South Killy, that's where people are getting married, in the OK Club, in the hood, the ghetto. In the freaking computer room, they've put chairs because they're so poor, they can't afford nothing. This is what's going on in the cult. So yeah, it's rushed. Women get robbed of getting like getting their worth, their value. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because back in the day, that was what marriage is all about. Like, the man had to be offering some sort of security, a provider. It's not about that in when it comes to religion. It's about getting the women to marry because they believe they're the weaker vessels. And to some extent, it has been true in the past because they know the witchcraft, like, that they've got over us. But now we're starting to wake up and walk in our divinity. It's wild. So marriage benefits the government, lol. Yes. And that's what it's like. They are like the elite. They're elitists. So they're the evil and wickedness in the high places. They are. Oh yeah, but you can't see the guy in that one. I need to fix that chair. They are the elitists in higher places. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why the government love it, because they turn people into like civil servants, like civil people, like conservative, like going with the rules, like, marriage is part of that. Because remember, it's from the colonizer. So they have a very colonizer mindset. What did they call it in the other thing? I have to look, chair. Crazy. So this ensures generational continuity. The cult doesn't just keep members, it breeds new ones. So remember, I've spoken about the second, third gen theory, where basically that's why Catholicism has lasted as long as it has, because it's generations. It's in our epigenetics. It's in the blood because of slavery from way back. Do you understand what I'm saying? So once you understand that these marriages, even in my cult leaders book, the mega church, yeah, it talks about establishing mega churches and how the importance of outreach and going and recruiting people in, because it creates more marriages, which in turn creates more stability. People become more stable when they're happily married. Yeah. Do you know how many of these quick fix backdoor marriages end in divorce? Do you know how many people are in unhappy marriages, celibate marriages? They don't even like each other. Breaking down autonomy. In cult psychoed, this aligns with identity control from Hassan's bite model. So remember the bite model, authoritarian control that the cult leader exerts through behavior, emotional, thought, and behavior, informational. Sorry, I'm tired. Behavior, information, thought, and emotional control. Okay. So your life milestones, who you love, when you marry, how many kids you have, are dictated by the group. Remember, in my church cult, there's a 3 kid maximum. In UCKG, the man them are just getting vasectomies, them ones. It's just RADICAL. That Mercedes is absolutely EVIL chair. In my cult, at least you can have up to 3 kids. So especially the OG people, they won't have more than 3 children. All right. So they control every area of your life. So the marriage is the main thing that they want to control, because that's your life. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then the women are so codependent on the husbands. Like a lot of these women, they're marrying their first. They haven't had much examples of relationship. They have no identity outside of being this young wife that's married this little boy. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's the reality of it. All right. And they sell you a complete dream. It's all a lie. Your identity is no longer self-determined. It's constructed by the cult. Early marriage prevents individuation, developing your own self before committing to another. So that's why a lot of people get confused. A lot of women divorce in their early 30s, because it's like, it's almost like a learning curve. Like they waste your life because they want you to get married so quickly, rush into it, so you'll be indebted to the cult for life. Mystical manipulation and sacred framing. Cults often frame marriage as God's will, divine timing, or prophecy. They also sell it as elitism, like your misses. You know, the man has honored you. It's like a prize. It's an achievement marrying a man. So you've got women that are DUMB, retired 304s. They don't even know if they'll be able to conceive, sitting there and thinking that they're better than you because because they're called Mrs. Agicom and their man is making less than 25 grand a year. Do you understand? Because they just create this very toxic environment. A lot of the man them in there, they're not high earners, because you can't be a high earner to be given all of that time, because a high earner has to put their time and energy into their business. There's only 24 hours in a day. I date rich man them, like entrepreneurs, namely Nigerians. You know you cannot win. Look at Portia. I bet she wishes that she didn't mess with that guy. You can't, do you know, it is what it is. Do you get it? They don't have the time to be doing up them man them. They're usually the preds that just come on Sunday. They don't have the time to be doing up ministry, being in there every hour God sends. They got to make money. They understand that their time and energy translates money, and they like money. Do you understand what I'm telling you? All right. So it's people who are usually like low earners, or they're keeping them in that hold. Do you understand? It's like they don't want you to earn too much, but they don't want you to earn too little. They want you to earn just the right amount that leaves you're just getting through life. Do you know what I'm saying? Or like they sell to you that middle class family life. So people don't really pursue more. Like, do you know what I mean? Like dreams, or like getting rich, or, do you know, because there's a lot of doctrine that's against it, like chasing your dreams, and, you know, you've got to be humble, and you don't want to be like the devil, I shall arise, and focusing on self. And, you know, there's a lot of that. Meanwhile, the cult leaders are getting rich because he's collecting all your money. He's crowdfunding. The jazz is back on. It's helping me to stay calm, because this is just, you know, I just wasted my life, man. Any hesitation is framed as rebellion or lack of faith. So they like to do it speedily. They also bring in the fornication. Outside of the gates will be, you know, the fornicators, the liars, the thieves, etc. So it's like, if you fornicate, then you're going to HELL. So to avoid lust, to flee from youthful lust, you have to get married. So they basically sell it to the young people, like, to avoid going to HELL for fornication, and they make it out like, why are you going to go to hell for like that? Just get married. That's the answer. That's the key. Look, God has given you a solution, a way out. That's why they're all getting married young. Going on holiday is frowned upon. Yeah, girl, it's haram. What do you mean frowned upon, Jer? Adira, what do you mean frowned upon? Adira, if you're the choir leader and you go on holiday instead of being there on Sunday, that's it. You're getting replaced. Now Dolly's in your position. You know, Dolly can't do what you can do, but you've got to humble yourself. Now you've been demoted. You're just a normal choir member. That's the kind of stuff they do to you. Punishment. You shouldn't have gone on that holiday. Guys, there's people that I know. They've been so broke when they got married. They had their honeymoon in Scotland. Oh God, help me. Do you know what, guys? There's even people that have gone to Blackpool. Like, I'm just, you know what? I'm absolutely done. I'm absolutely, like, luckily I got to go to Malta. Do you know what I'm saying? Because my ex-husband's family had money. So we got back more than we put into the wedding. So we weren't even going to do a honeymoon because we were so young. We had to, because they have to get a house as well. Remember that they got to furnish the house. They got to get everything. You got at 25, 24, I was barely out of uni. I just finished uni. When I met my beloved, that's what they call your fiance, healing GC in the car. I'm going to show you lot all my graduation photos, because he was in all my graduation photos as well. I was a baby, man. I was so young. I just didn't know nothing about nothing, chair. All of the gal them that get married young, not all of them. Some of your marriages will last, but most of them get divorced. When you get pushed to your breaking point, chair, you know, when you grow up a bit more and you've just matured and you're just like, what the hell am I doing? Like, what am I doing, chair? But because all of the single married wives, they don't want to face the truth of their situation. So they've been lying to all the gal them, the generations, for years. Like, this is it. This is it. You get the guy, they cheat, they do what they want. This is it. This is what it is, Charlie. You know, just do it for the kids. No, this generation was saying, no, we'd rather be on our own, on our ones, and travel the world. If I could have done it all again, I would have backpacked. I would have gone backpacking all around the world. If I could have done it all again, I would have just saved, like, young. I would have just traveled, you know, like Paris. You know, we've got a survivor that's gone and relocated to Anguilla. And she's out there singing, like, she's just living her dream. She's out there in Anguilla picking the fruits, looking after her natural hair's like down to hair now. She's just flourishing. Her skin looks beautiful. when I think about survivors like that, I'm so happy. I get filled with so much joy. It makes me feel so warm inside, because I'm like, these gal them, like someone like Paris easily would have got swept up into these environments, and she's just out there living her dream. I live my life through the survivors. Woo! Let me not get emotional. Woo! Sorry. Just because they took everything from me, guys, it just gets so emotional. You know, when I think about the other survivors and the chance that they have, oh God, so emotional. Leah, is your ex-husband Ibo? Oh, look at you lot trying to pre in it from the. You lot are trying to pre in it from underneath, in it. You lot are trying to pre. Look, you lot make me cry. You make me laugh. He's Edo, Benin. Look at that, that's in it. He's Benin, Edo. You know them man them think they're royalty. Listen, yeah, I will never listen. When I came out of the cult, yeah, I don't know why, but these Nigerian man them were just on me. It's crazy. Imagine I've been wrapped in cotton wool my whole life. I've gone out like the first day I've gone out to the club. It's just like flies on. I don't even know how to describe it. So basically, I was dealing with another guy. He's also Edo. And I was chatting to another guy as well, but I had to lock it off, because by then I just realized, because it was just all Edo guys. They were just coming to me at one point. It was crazy chat, and they got money, you know. The Edo, I've never met a man from Edo that's been broke. You get me? But I learned they're just all the same, man. I can't deal with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're too much. Yeah, these guys, like, you got to treat them like royalty. Do you know what I mean? Because they like all have dynasties. They actually believe they're royal. Like, they've internalized it. So you got to be ready to do all that bowing, and you know, you got to do all of that. Chair. Even the ones that are born in England, this, that, and that, they are very traditional in the way that they think and everything. Do you know what I mean? The only reason why he even married me was because I had internalized the misogyny. I was thinking like how the cult leaders are. Do you know what I mean? Like I was thinking like a Ghanaian 50-year-old woman. Do you get it? So that's why he married me. Imagine, like, I look this good and then I'm just severely indoctrinated. Oh my gosh. Mr. Private, I mean, like, you get me? Like, he thought he looked like, guys, if you could see his face, yeah, especially in this picture, it looks like he won the jackpot. I can't even lie to you, Chair. But I have to respect his privacy. All right. So yeah, so they sell it like divine time, and you know, like, guys, you see the mega church, yeah, it's gone from, I don't even know where to say we're at the moment. Like, this is so triggering. There's like this culture of I want to marry a mog. I want to marry a mog. Like that, like they sell it to the women in there. It's like a dangling carrot, because the women believe that they're anointed to like marry a man of God, like a mog, like God anoints them. That's how much the women have been resulted to. Like they fast for marriage and kingdom marriage, kingdom building marriage. You know, these gal them, they're so delulu. They're there fasting and praying for marriage. Why don't you fast to end world poverty and world hunger? Why don't you fast for that? God, these gal them are so shallow. It's like you can tell the ones that were just like that in the world, and they've just cut. Loads of them are trying to rebrand themselves. Like, you know, they want to be these god glamorous girls. You know, like, it's crazy. I can't believe it. Do you know what? I say good luck to them in their chair. I'm just glad that my little girls won't be following no idiocracy. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's just the MESS chair. Blind leading the blind. Okay, all right. Yeah, so any hesitation is framed as lack of faith. So they get people to marry quickly. I remember when this girl, yeah, just basically, okay, she got a husband. It's too much to go into the story tonight, but she got a husband from outside of the cult. And she was like, they're going to get married in 2 years, because she wanted to have a nice wedding. They wanted to save it, but that's frowned upon. But they kicked her out anyway. All right, just basically, she was doing a thing with the cult leader's son, Bishop Joshua Ewan Mills. That's all I'm going to say for tonight, Chair. That's all I'm going to say. They shipped Bishop Joshua Ewan Mills out of the UK, you know, gave him a wife. That's why he's married to Priscilla, and done that arranged marriage quick. It was like a year after they did not want that guy to be with that girl, because she was a commoner. This is like the cult leader's son. That's when you see the elitism. That's when you get the wake up call. That's when you get the slap to reality. That's when she woke up like, whoa, yeah, they don't class me as a spiritual daughter of the house or anything. It was all lies. So everybody wakes up in different ways, but it's like God's mercy, because she was so deep in it. That was the only way that she was going to get out. Thanks for the follow, Keish. All right, so this manipulates the members into rushing decisions under the weight of eternal consequence. So remember, I said to you that they condemn people to HELL if they're fornicating or whatever, and then they bring in this very like radical ideology of, you know, Christ coming like a thief in the night, still kill and destroy. They don't know when Christ is going to come back. So it's like, get married, just do it, you know, like worry about the rest later. Everyone's delulu, guys. Let's like up the live, please. Psychological conditioning, quick marriage as part of the thought reform environment. Because there's the fear that they place in you that if you wait, you'll miss God's will. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you don't want Christ to return. You don't want Christ to return and you are laying in bed with your boyfriend. He has just blown out your back the whole night. You will wake up, you go to sleep, getting your back blown out. You wake up in the morning, you're in HELL. It's stuff that they do like that. Guilt. Purity is only preserved through marriage. So there's that purity culture. Do you know how many OGs that I've had that got married? Because remember, they don't really know the men in there. Do you know what I mean? And the guy was a previous addict, whatever. Do you know what I mean? He just started breaking down and going back to all his old ways, putting hands on the woman, eating from the grape bowl. She experienced absolute HELL in that marriage, and that marriage was all about covering up a high ranking pastor that had been eaten from her great bowl. So they just married her off to that guy quickly. Do you get it? To try and cover it up. They do that because remember I told you about that other survivor that came forward and said that the pastor married him off to the woman that he was sleeping with because he wanted to discard her. He wanted her, like, you know, out of his way so he could move on to the next. In it, Adira, yeah. So they do things like that, chair. Shame. Single women are a temptation. They shame you, Jezebel, this and that. You know, there's a lot of shame, especially like the women that are like 25. If you're not married by 25, it's like a shame. It's like, there's something wrong with you. You've been shelved. Because they sell it like they want the young, DUMB, vulnerable, naive, impressionable women that don't know nothing about nothing to get married. Do you get it? So that's why they glorify youthfulness in there. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, 25 is the flower of your youth. You've got to get married young. It says marry the wife of your youth. It doesn't say marry the wife of your elderly days. You get me? They do a lot. Do you see where the manipulation and the twisting of the scripture comes in? Do you get it? Because it's like now they're going in outside doctrine, using it for their hidden agenda and motives, because they know when they get the people to marry young. And remember, they're still young. They're still babies. Listen, if any man thinks he's coming to take my child at 19, he's not going to be here anymore. Because I'd rather be locked up. They won't let me out, no, to protect my child. Are you having? You think anyone could come to my yard and tell me that they're taking my 19-year-old child to go? Do you know what? It's actually laughable, chair. Especially not the little one. The little one, chair. But your whole family is going to get it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, thanks, Naomi. I'm not on that. You're taking my baby where? Where? All right. So because my mum wouldn't have let me get married at 19, no way. These emotional levers push people into compliance while believing they're making a holy choice. So again, bounded choice, you know, that they're making them think it's a choice, but it's all coercive control, indoctrination against your will. You don't even know what they're doing up, chair. Why did Pastor Austin marry Michelin at 19? Because he's a pred and he wanted to assume full control. I've actually done a whole video on it. Naomi, are you a survivor? If you are and you don't want to say on the chat, actually, is that the girl I've been chatting to? Let me know anyway, because message me. I've taken my foot off the wheel of RPF a little bit, but I'm coming back onto them tomorrow. Because when I put out stuff and I expose a cult, yeah, I have to bear in mind that even though the survivors don't come forward, they're getting impacted and affected by that content. So then I need to then put something out to help to empower people, because it's like I've put the information out. Yeah, now what? So now you need to take the steps. That's why I'm putting the content out at such a fast rate, so that I can just speed up this process for people. My moles have been telling me that a lot of people have been getting engaged a lot younger. They're marrying off people quickly because they're trying to do up damage control. So why are we seeing a rise right now, particularly that the cult's been exposed, this, that, and the third? So when cults feel exposed, like from the survivor advocacy that I'm doing, more survivors are getting empowered to speak out. They know there's an active collective, this, that, and the third. What I'm doing is affecting other church cults outside of my church cult. And that's why I said I don't need to put their name on it. When you see me, you see Dagwood Mills, you see First Love, you see Mustard Seed Chapel, you see Pleasant Surprises. Do you get it? When you see me, you see them. We go together. Mate, I heard someone from my old cult that a man that is in the technical team is dating a girl 6 years younger than him. He is 28 and she is 22. They love getting the young DUMB naive ones. They love it because it's just frowned upon. There's no laws. Do you know what I mean? They just love it because they're so young. Do you understand what I'm saying? They don't know anything. What are you doing getting married at that young age, Cher? All right, I nearly said something where I had to hold back just then, Cher. Leaders may push more marriages as a way to reassert authority, distract members from scandals or exposure, lock young people into the system, lock young people into the self-sealing system before they start questioning. It's like tightening the leash, keep members bound through marital family ties so they can't slip away. There was one girl that I kept talking about consistently for the whole year. The guys impregnated her now, giving her a baby, so she's completely distracted. She knows the truth. She knows it's all lies. She'll leave, but it will take her a long time. Do you understand? But that's what they do. They get people tied in it. Do you get what I'm saying? She just graduated from uni. The girl was talking about, yeah, it's the standard. It's the norm, babe. It's just fresh out of uni, marriage. They're just waiting to finish the uni. That's how they indoctrinate them. Just waiting to finish the uni. They haven't even, the ink's not even dry, yeah, on the test results, and they're in the registry office because that's all they can afford. The weddings look ridiculous. They look like little kids trying to be adults. It just looks ridiculous. It's the young ones who can be easily impressionable. Yeah. Like, remember when we were all young, there's always a guy that we would have like ran off with and married. And do you know what I mean? It's just, it's you're young. What do you know? What do you know at 22 years old about relationships? Do you get it? It's like, okay, I've read that already. All right. So they want them to have all of these ties. Then they're preaching all of these things. A woman's desire shall be to a man because of the curse of Eve. Like all of that, they've internalized the misogyny. They're not going anywhere. And that's not just for Christians. It's religion. Yeah. But I speak from a Christian lens because that's what I know inside and out. Like no one can challenge me. If I had knowledge, say like on, Islam or the Quran, I would be talking about that. You get it? Yeah. Cause I'm not an idiot. I need to be able to defend myself on what I'm saying. Generational entrapment. Cult marriages equal cult children, so it's breeding second, third, fourth generations. That's why Catholicism still exists, and that's why Catholicism is thriving now, because all of these, there's so much scandals in other denominations. They're all going back to Catholicism because it's in their epigenetics. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's the binding magic that they've put on it from thousands of years ago. The Vatican, all of that, the magic is so powerful, they have to keep it locked away. Hey, hon, it's too sensitive for me to talk about on TikTok, guys. Go and research it. The system sustains itself by producing a second generation born into indoctrination. Young marriages guarantee that the cycle of abuse, labor, and financial exploitation continues without interruption. So people just have no identity. I'm all right, my love. Yourself? I'm Nigerian by blood. I did my DNA, 37.1% to be precise, and a bit of Sierra Leonean. I'm Caribbean by ancestry, Nigerian by DNA, and through the 10 years of marriage. And I was also in the Ghanaian cult. I'm just a beg. That's all it is. Yeah. Listen, babes, I'm an African queen. We were taken from Africa, so I just class myself as an African queen, but I am Nigerian. When I've done up the DNA test, I want to do like when my money's up, the first thing I'm doing is the tribe one. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it, Chair. I want to know what tribe. I think it's going to be Edo, but we'll see. I've got a feeling it's going to be Edo. All right. This phone is so annoying, this Android. It just switches off, Chair. It doesn't even give you 2 minutes. So I'm going to repeat this bit again because, Pastor Austin's Nigerian. Young marriages guarantee that the cycle of abuse, labor, and financial exploitation continues without interruption. So this is the survivor reframe. I'm going to give us this bit to just, sit with and to help you to reflect, etc. And then I'm going to go into why cult leaders write marriage manuals and control marital intimacy. So get ready, y'all. It's not romance, it's recruitment. It's not destiny, it's dependency. Cults push marriage because it cements loyalty, ensures obedience, and creates generational chains. Early marriage is not a blessing in cults. It's a control tactic disguised as holiness. So stop looking at that. Oh, they're getting married, they got a baby. They're idiots. They've bound themselves to poverty. Don't you understand? Focus on yourself, Cher. by the time they realize they've made the mistake and wasted their life on this man child, you know, you would have been established in your career, your business, whatever. Live life, make it happen for you. Decenter men, they can't do anything for you. Establish yourself, and then when you get to a certain point, then look for a man. Yeah, that's what I would say to any woman, Chair. But if you can't be bothered, just do up sprinkle sprinkle. Do you know, if you're like, you know, an absolute 10, like model status, like main character, you're giving celeb. When you get done up, like men are looking at you like celeb, gorping, all of that. You could just do up sprinkle sprinkle. Yeah. All right. Why cult leaders write marriage manuals and control marital intimacy? Lex says, even in healthy churches, I feel like they center men so much. That's the problem. Lex, that's why I'm not effing with it. Do you understand? Like the Ark, I went to the Ark and I had like a good experience and it was okay. But the pastor's wife just came up saying she had some dream of all these women in wedding dresses and this and that. And she's like, I know there's a lot of young people, so there's going to be a lot of marriages, but the Lord, you know, she made it all about marriage. And I said, why couldn't you interpret that as like God is talking about the bride of, you know, the bride of Christ? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, why was it just interpreted as like there's going to be more marriages? Do you know what I mean? So for me, I'm just a very intellectual, educated woman, and I don't mean that in a proud way, because listen, I'm from the hood. I could sit down with Captain Morgan. If you lot read in between the lines, do you understand what I'm saying? Like chill with the man them on the strip, talking about all different things. I'm versatile. I'm eclectic. But then I can also be in an art gallery with a very, you know, an upper class, you know, whitey man from Knightsbridge. And I can talk about Picasso and Monet and interpretive art. And, you know, I'm very cultured. So it's not like I'm saying that, but I'm just saying there's a lot of the women have internalized misogyny real bad. Because remember, they see that as like the prize, like the Proverbs 31 woman, that's DUMB. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because that's how they exploit and abuse them and get them, like the women that are married to mogs them, if they don't want to be in the yard with them. So they're like, oh, they're married to the church because they don't want to be with you, babe. There's nothing up there. Do you know what I mean? Lights are on no one's home. The intimacy ain't good. The conversation ain't good. So they'd rather be with their members. They can have intellectual conversations. You're just there to breed and to be like for representation. Do you know what I'm saying? So when the gal them can't conceive, that's also where they get a lot of issues and they just become hyper radical to the point where they're pushing other women, and they're only doing that because they don't have a child. If they had a child, everything would be about. So do you see how they project that onto other women that have kids? Do you understand what I'm saying, you lot? Because it's to fill that void. Mad. I'm not even gonna lie, guys. I've seen a lot in my day. That's like Michelin in RPF. That's what she does. I've got to go level up. I've got to go, love. Up early. Oh, night, Nas. Love you, girl. Has Michelin had a child? All right. All right. So the reason why I wanted to talk about marriage manuals and the control around marital intimacy is because my cult leader has a book called Model Marriage, and in that book he's got like stick men. There's you know, positions in there of intimacy. He's got like personality traits: phlegmatic, sanguine, melancholic. What's the other one? Choleric. And it's the whole ideology on Jung's work. The personality traits, like a sanguine should marry like a phlegmatic because they're laid back, and the sanguine is someone like me, life of the party, chatterbox, whatever. So he even goes into personality trait. He's weird, man, because he's got a medical doctor's degree. So so his cult is mixed with like some weird medical science, like weird medical knowledge that he's got. He mixes it and intertwines it with like a bit of Christianity, Judaism, because they're very big on, you know, like commandments, fear, DEVIL. If they talk a lot about DEVIL, demons, it's apocalyptic in nature, then they will have a core focus on the Old Testament, and then like they go a little bit into like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, but it will be more after Acts, so it will feel like the Church of Apostle Paul. That's what they should call them, cults of Apostle Paul, because it's not about Christ in there. I know more about Apostle Paul than I do Jesus Christ. I've learned more about Christ since I left than when I was in that setting, and it's supposed to be the house of Christ. We're supposed to be the bride of Christ. So you got to use your common sense, chair. Like, it's not about knowing regurgitated scriptures and tones. It's about living it. If you keep learning the verses and your life ain't changing, you haven't stopped getting your back blown out, then you got to like think logically, but they mask it as your spirit becomes born again, but not your body. It's complete human fecal matter, chair. If you really have a real experience with Christ, look at my backside. Am I in church? But I've been celibate for 2 years. Christ will teach you to sit your backside down because he loves you so much. Christ will make you love yourself to the point where you're like, do you know what? Because I love myself, I'm not going to do it. And that's on period, point blank. Night, night, my queen. Yeah. So they don't know God. And then they're coming in my inbox. Do you know God? God will curse you. This is that. Do you know God, baby? Because you're in there. All right. So the reason why they do up these marriage manuals and control marital intimacy is because of the totalitarian worldview in disguise. A book like Model Marriage isn't just about advice. It's about installing the cult leader's worldview, his totalitarian view on how he thinks the model marriage of the cult should be. It's even called model marriage, into the most private part of the member's life. So it's an infiltration and a violation of the most intimate, sacred part of your life, which is your marital bed, which should not be defiled. So this is him defiling the marital bed. But unless you're deep in the word and the knowledge of sacred text, you won't clock that. You'd think it was bringing another person into the bed. You won't clock that. Yeah, because it's very spiritual. You know, the Bible's very mystical. It's mysterious. It's a mystery. You've got to unlock it. It's coded. God don't give out like cast his pearl amongst swines. Do you know what I'm saying? Like God is so infinite. Like he doesn't just give out his knowledge like that. Like you've got to really seek. So the cult leader positions himself as the ultimate authority, not just on faith, but on schmegs, love, intimacy, on everything. My cult leader, Dagyud Mills, thinks he's everything. They will move like they got more power and anointing than Jesus Christ, and they justify it by we'll do greater works. So it's like subconsciously you're internalizing that this is like some great prophet that's come and he's doing greater works than Christ because he's built more churches and he's done this and he's done that. That's why they do it. Narcissistic validation and supply. So it's like we internalize them like a god. By dictating what a good wife is, the cult leader is actually reprogramming women's entire identity and worth to fit the mold and his totalitarian view through the model marriage book. And I will do a follow-up on this with the model marriage book and highlighting the tactics and the different, like, you know, the totalitarianism, the different tactics, the underlying indoctrination, if that would be helpful. Control over schmexuality, control over the soul. So that equals control over the soul. In cult psychology, controlling this intimacy is one of the deepest levers of control. Why? Because intimacy is tied to identity, power, and freedom. By prescribing positions, behaviors, and attitudes, the leader reduces intimacy to an act of obedience, a duty. And that's how they see it, like a duty. That's why it's unalived. Like the women are just like logs on their back. It's duty. There's no intimacy. There's no sensuality. There's no passion. Because remember, you're cut off from your sense of self, from empathy, from feelings, from senses, sensations, your intuition. You need that part of self to engage in schmegs. So because that part is cut off, so none of them are enjoying that. That's why they do things like from the great bowl and try to fill those desires. Do you understand? That's why they go to the strange woman, the Jezebel, to get their needs met. Christ first in the cup. It turns the marital bed into an extension of the pulpit, so that the marital bed becomes defiled, as I said. Voyeuristic and narcissistic control. Writing about Schmeg's positions under the guise of helping virgins, because Dag says that he's got that in there because there's virgins in the church cult and they won't know what to do. That's the reason why he says he's doing it up. My queen has arrived. Love you, girl. So that whole ideology of him saying that he's helping people who haven't lost their V is voyeuristic. It's intimacy, schmegschal intrusion. Hey, Queen Kayla, it's schmegschal intrusion into people's private life. So it's a violation of your private life, the most intimate, sacred, personal part of your life. That's why you can't have a personal relationship with God, because the cult are in control of everything. It positions the leader as the gatekeeper of schmegschal knowledge. Members look to him for permission on how to please each other. On a deeper level, it feeds the narcissism, his omnipotent present, even in members' bedrooms. So he's omnipotent and present even in members' bedrooms. So he never leaves. Remember I said to you, there's pastors that have a picture of the cult leader above their bed. That's how you know there's no action in there. There's people who have got married and they're calling their pastor, Charlie, it's not working on the bedroom on the night of the wedding. This is how bad it is in first love. And then these men then want to think they can come and have some chat for me. All right, babe. Marriage counseling as indoctrination. So in the cult, we used to have to do 6-month marriage counseling historically, and they would only run them twice a year. So if you meet your partner after the 2 marriage, you've got to wait a whole year. That's why people end up fornicating, this and that, and they'll be coming to church fake. Yeah. So 6 months counseling every 2 years is not about care. It's about reinstallation of programming, like a software update. Every few years, the cult checks couples haven't drifted from the party line. It's a way of surveilling intimacy, because remember, they're big on surveillance and monitoring in there. That's why the pastor will be like, are you giving your husband good? They're just perverse. It's just horrid. It's the environment in there is so toxic and perverse that they normalize very dysfunctional behavior. It's like people who grow up in the hood. Do you know what I mean? Who are used to seeing people getting, unalived, all of that. It just, we just become desensitized to trauma and GMs and, all of that life. The same way you become desensitized to that violation. It's a way of surveilling intimacy, ensuring couples don't build independent thinking or private bonds outside the leader's influence. That's why when I recruited my ex-husband in, I had to prove myself for another 10 years. I had to ride out the time with my ex-husband until the cult felt like he proved himself to them. Why marriage control matters to cults. All right. So loyalty check. If couples stay aligned with the leader's teaching, their marriage remains under the cult control. Suppressing resistance, independence. Okay, sorry. I'm getting tired. Suppressing resistance. So independent couples could challenge the system. By policing intimacy, the cult prevents bonds strong enough to resist. So they're like little robots in the house as well. Do you know what I mean? There's no real relationships. It's all fake because they don't have no identity. They've got on the pseudo personality. So it's like they're eating. Did you like Bishop's message this morning? Yes, I loved it. It was lovely. How is work going, Charlie? Oh, well, that's literally what it's like. That's why the men are living double lives, yeah. All right, because they like the fame and the things that it brings, being in the cult, a standard citizen, but they also like to blow out the back of so-called Jezebels. All right. Generational entrapment. Marriage rules ensure children born into the cult inherit the ideology. So breeding second gen, third gen cult members, that's how they grow the church cult. That's how they establish it, like Catholicism. Okay, it's through epigenetic indoctrination. Normalization of submission by forcing women into ideal wife. It's like the trad wife. That's what they do up in my cult. It's like the trad wife. That's what it is. Yeah. The ideal wife roles. The cult naturalizes patriarchal dominance and makes abuse appear holy. So the ABUSE is wrapped in holiness and submission and obedience to the man. That's why we've got, singers like Osanachi, people who are getting unalived by their husbands because they feel that they have to be obedient and submissive. All right. And divorce is unallowed. So that, it's like, according to the canon, even if you remarry, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like you're committing fornication. That's why I'm just going to do me, them ones. Deeper hidden meaning. These books and counseling sessions or programs aren't about helping members. They're about colonizing the last private frontier, because they're trying to colonize every area of your life, your body and your bed. It's an indoctrination tool disguised as marital advice. Public sermons control your outer life. The marriage manual and counseling control your inner private life. The hidden purpose is to make even your pleasure, intimacy, and love serve the cult leader's authority. We don't want you being too close, or we don't want you to have too much of a good schmex. Everything has to be controlled. Do you understand? Are you getting it? You got to, your first purpose has to be the cult. You don't want the marriage to be too sweet or to the point where, the cult doesn't come first. Do you get it? So they've got to control that. They've got to keep tabs on that. And that's how they do it. So now I'm going to end with this survivor refrain to leave you with, to reflect, to help you in this meditative process of just really grasping and making sense of and understanding, trying to compartmentalize exactly what happened to you. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Model marriage wasn't about education, and getting married young wasn't about fulfilling a purpose for God, or that, you're being a upstanding Christian wife. Do you get what I mean? So now you're going to avoid going to HEOL. It wasn't about that. It was a manual for submission. Schmeg's positions weren't about helping virgins. They were about inserting the leader's authority into your most sacred private space. And they also do this through your personal relationship with God, with Jesus Christ. They infiltrate it to the point where you can't hear the voice of God. He overtakes it, he defiles it, and you're just hearing the cult leader's voice, all right? Another thing is, these women are absolutely washed up and dried up. It's like they can't be sensual and passionate and whatever, because all of that's been sucked out of them to be seen as sin, Jezebel. And then they just want them to switch it on and turn it on and turn into, a dominatrix, like on a random Tuesday afternoon because it's Valentine's Day. So it's like it's a duty. So women are even doing this against their will. They don't even want the man to even breathe next to them. Do you understand, guys? It's deep, man. All right. Marriage counseling wasn't about healing. It was about re-cementing obedience, surveilling intimacy, and keeping couples from ever outgrowing the cult. The deeper meaning is to ensure that not even your body, your marriage, or your personal relationship belongs to you. And on that note, I'm going to go, guys, because I'm getting a feeling. I love you all. I'm coming back on tomorrow. This will be uploaded onto YouTube. But what I just did want to quickly say is that the women don't have no sensuality. They're cut off from that intimate part of self, to be able to carry out schmegs. I've seen guys as young as 28 taking Viagra. They're all washed up. They can't get it up in there. Love you.